Okay, call to order the regular meeting of the Zoning Commission, May 13, 2008, in Common Council Chambers, beginning at 7:39. We have a roll call. Commissioner DiCaprio will be absent this evening. Commissioner Haddad?
Here. Thanks for asking.
Commissioner Johnston?
Here. Thanks for asking.
Good job.
Commissioner Jowdy?
Here.
Commissioner Manasek?
Here.
Vice Chairman Commissioner Melillo?
Here.
Commissioner Stremiello?
Here.
Commissioner Wetmore?
Here.
And alternates, Commissioners Hickey?
Here.
Commissioner Perez-Aries?
Here.
And Commissioner Spagnola will be absent this evening. I'm Chairman Farah, and I am obviously here. We will, just a note, pass on to Commissioner DiCaprio, who's recovering from surgery, and we wish him the best in his recovery. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Stremiello.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the next regular meeting is scheduled for June 10th, 2008. Just a note, there will be no meeting on May 27, 2008. Okay, we are next on the agenda is acceptance of minutes from March 25, 2008. We have we need to table the acceptances that is not ready to be voted on, not ready to be viewed. Other matters, Andrew Wetmore would like to read a statement into record.
I, Commissioner Wetmore, would like to go on record to address the complaints made about my actions after the April 8th, 2008 meeting. I apologize if my untimely exit of the building was misinterpreted as myself having an inappropriate conversation with the petitioner or the Halas family. I was not traveling with the Halas family, nor had I ever met or had any prior interactions with the family or the petitioner prior to the presentation at the petition meeting at April 8th, 2008.
Okay, we have no new public hearings scheduled for this evening. We have no continuations of public hearings. We have number one under old business for consideration and possible action. Number one is the petition of Michael J. Halas, DBA, to amend Section 4A5F9 of the zoning regulations. Clarify farming operations permitted in the RA zones. Public hearing was closed on the 8th of April. We have 65 days to make a decision. That period will be up on June 12th, 2008. It's not necessary to make a decision this evening. Eligible to vote are Commissioners DiCaprio, who is absent this evening, Commissioner Haddad, Commissioner Johnston, Commissioner Jowdy, Commissioner Manasek, Commissioner Melillo, Commissioner Stremiello, and Commissioner Wetmore. Commissioner Hickey, alternate Commissioner Hickey, is eligible to vote this evening, as she has viewed the hearing. So I'm going to ask this evening that Commissioner Vicky sit in for Commissioner DiCaprio for the Michael J. Halas petition.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. You're also eligible.
Oh, and I too am also eligible. Just a quick reminder, we are live on Government Access Channel 24. Please use your microphone and speak loudly and clearly at all times, including voting. If you'd like to see yourself on TV later tonight, they'll be replayed at 10 o'clock. Okay. We have any any decision making on this evening? Commissioner Johnston.
I'd like to make a motion to deny the petition for the following reasons. I don't believe it's in the best interest of the city. I do not believe that this is being presented in the proper forum. It's my opinion that this may even verge on contract zoning, which would not be legal. But that aside, I believe that it will create a traffic hazard, potential danger to both other vehicles and pedestrians on the route.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay, I will second this motion for only the purpose of discussion. Okay, do we have any discussion on this petition, on this motion? Yes, Commissioner Johnson.
Well, I'd just like to bring up that, as I stated in my motion, I believe that this is not the right forum for this proposal. It is not a citywide change. This is specific only to the said property, and changing it may set a precedent for others to attempt to change citywide zoning for individual specific needs. Mr. Elpern put it at the previous meeting that this is a farm and not a transfer station, which is an excellent point. But when will the transfer station or other such entities use this as a precedent to change the wording in their zone? I believe this was there's a viable reason that the regulation was written as it was, and we may very well be committing what I believe is contract zoning from how I read it, but I haven't heard back on that in specific. I don't see where this usage is beneficial, nor is it safe for the public. I think that it's a very dangerous road. I've walked the property, I've walked the road there, and I don't think that I think it's very hazardous how it's laid out, and I don't see how it would be changed in the better.
Any more discussion? Yes, Commissioner Malillo.
Mr. Chairman, with all due respect, I'm actually going to disagree with Commissioner Johnson on this matter and just announce that I am going to vote against his motion to deny for a couple reasons. First of all, based on the presentation in the public hearing, the majority of the presentations were either in favor or on the fence, neither against nor in favor of this petition, with the exception of one individual who did have some arguments against it. But a lot of those seem to stem against public notice and things along those lines. And at that night, a lot of discussion was centered around site-specific issues, not rather ordinance or amendment changes. And as was pointed out that night, a lot of it was also based on things that could be handled in the Planning Commission and not by us. So under those auspices, I am going to vote no on this petition.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Jowdy.
Commissioner, I'm also against the motion. It seems that you know, some things are site specific, some things aren't. This whole discussion actually got to be site specific. You know, the people are afraid of the traffic, this, that. I think the bottom line is that we have a Danbury person that wants to continue farming. I think it's a dying breed. I like to keep it going. My own opinion. And I'm going to take a stand and vote no to the motion.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Johnson.
For clarity, I am not against the Halases or the Halas Farm. I'd love to see them continue to do it. The main reason why I brought this up is that, in fact, I'm being argued against that this was deemed or argued as a site-specific amendment, or that it was taken up this way. It is site-specific. There's no doubt about it. The presentation that was put before us was specifically, it had no connotation towards any other property. It came up here, it was an infomercial that was put forward to project the benefits of this particular piece of property, no others. That was it. It was talked about for this piece. To say that the argument was put forward site-specifically, and then every counter-argument was tried to be forced away under the pretext that it was being argued on a site-specific. Like I said, I don't have anything against farming or that specific farm. My point is the general welfare, the amendment changes some of the wording that was written into the original zoning for a specific reason. And I don't want to go on and on about it, but I mean, if people have gone by there, the traffic that comes in and out of there with trucks offloading things in there and coming around, it's a very dangerous corner. And it's my opinion that that's a public hazard and it's dangerous. And on one other note that I would like to bring up too, in my opinion, I was very upset by the bullying and the intimidation and the outright abuse of members of the public who came to this forum to speak. This is not an act that should ever be tolerated in this forum. The behavior that went on, there was behavior in the parking lot, which was brought up by Commissioner Wetmore. But while I was out there, I heard people being harassed outside, and there was people being intimidated in here who may likely have intimidated other people from speaking. People came up here and spoke about other people to speak before they had even gotten up here. And this is not, if you bring a motion before this committee, the public's allowed to speak pro and for it, and also against it, without fear of retribution from the petitioner or anybody else. And I found that to be a rather, I don't know how many other people may have spoken against it, but feared that they were going to be dragged down and have their properties brought up or have their personal lives thrown up in front of this. And I was very upset with that from my standpoint. But that aside, I understand some of the speech by the other commissioners. My point is, I think in the end there's only one place that this petition holds to. So to say that it's not site specific is wrong. It's erroneous. There's no other place in the city that it pertains to. So we're talking about one site, and let's be honest about that. We can hide, we can veil it in other words, but this is the only place that it's ever going to pertain to. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, you turn your mic on, please. Commissioner Harris.
I'm just wondering why that property would be more dangerous, the traffic in and out of that property would be more dangerous than any other business on that road.
Because you're going to have people, in my opinion, shopping on one side, getting stuff on the other side of a very dangerous corner. If it was a big long straightaway, it'd probably be different, but it's not, and there's no way to change that. Have you seen the corner where the roads enter and stuff? If there's trucks dropping off mulch over there, if there's people filling up pickup trucks and crisscrossing, if there's people walking from one side of the road to the other to retrieve their goods, this isn't, if it's just for storage, but if it's going to retail stuff out of there, which was specified here, then people are going to cross the street. And that corner is very blind, and it's a 45-mile-an-hour zone where people come around. And because things are 45 doesn't mean that people go 45. And I don't want to see a 40-mile-an-hour zone, whatever it is. What I don't want to see is somebody get hurt on that corner. The original zoning was written so that it didn't cross roads. We're changing this for one specific place. No other place, not other businesses, this one. And it's on a dangerous corner.
Any other discussion? Okay, we'll close the discussion. Go to a vote. Okay, now just so everyone understands, an aye vote denies the motion. I'm sorry, denies the petition. Okay, a nay vote does not deny the petition. An aye vote is in favor of the petition. I'm in favor of the motion, which is denying the petition. Everyone clear on that?
Eloquently put.
Yes, lack of eloquence.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, for clarification, in other words, I think what you're saying is if we vote no on this motion, we are not denying this petition. We will still need a positive motion for this petition.
That is incorrect. You will be making a motion, if you vote no, you will be making a motion to deny the negative recommendation. You will not make a positive recommendation.
We will need to make a motion to
will.
make a positive recommendation.
We are not, we would still need, if this is,
Let's, a yes vote denies it.
we still need a vote, okay?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Jetta?
let me try to clarify it because I'm confused here. There is a motion on the floor to deny the petition, okay?
That's correct.
If you vote yes, you're voting to deny the petition.
That's
If you
correct.
vote no, you're voting to, against the motion.
That's correct. Thank you, Commissioner Jowdy. That was eloquently put.
Anybody else want?
Okay, let's begin the festivities. Okay, just so you remember, Commissioner Hickey is filling in for Commissioner DiCaprio. Okay, Commissioner Johnston,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickey,
No.
Commissioner Haddad,
No.
Commissioner Jowdy,
No.
Commissioner Manasek,
No.
Vice Chairman Malillo,
No.
Commissioner Stremiello,
No.
Commissioner Wetmore,
No.
and I too will vote no. Okay, now what we need is a motion to approve. Commissioner Stremiello.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion to approve the petition of Michael Halas to amend Section 4A 5F of the zoning regulations and add all of the proposed language allowing an existing farm to use adjacent property zoned RA40 or RA80. I make this motion because of the positive recommendation from the Planning Commission and the majority of positive support at the public hearing held April 8, 2008. Thank you.
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, second from Commissioner Malillo. Any discussion? Commissioner Haddad.
Please to repeat the last reason for the motion.
If you could turn your mic on, please.
Last part?
If you can, repeat the last part of your motion.
Sure. I made the motion because of the positive recommendation from the Planning Commission and the majority of positive support that was shown at the public hearing held on April 8th of 2008.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Johnston.
Well, in light of the fact that it would appear that this motion may go through, what I would like to do is put some constraints on it. I don't think that in view of the dangerous area that it is, since the products intended for retail sale, farm machinery and operations of the farm may be temporarily stored. That's the way the new amendment reads. So what I would like to add to it would be that there is no customers allowed on the property, that all equipment must be stored inside of permanent structures, and all products must be stored inside, all products must be stored inside of permanent structures.
Okay, can you repeat that, please?
Yes, I would like to add to the amendment, since it says it's for the temporary, this is the new wording, it may be for temporarily stored, operation of the farm may be temporarily stored on a lot zoned RA40, which lies adjacent but separated from a lot. I would like to add that there are no customers on the property, that all the equipment must be stored inside of permanent structures, and that all products must be stored inside of permanent structures.
Okay, just for some clarification, Dennis, Commissioner Johnson is proposing to add some items to the proposed amendment. Okay, so
I missed what
he said, Dennis mentioned that Commissioner Johnson needs to specify where he needs to add these to the proposed amendment. Commissioner Haddad.
Yeah, Mr. Johnston, may I ask for some clarity on some things that may assist you
Yes.
in inserting these?
Sure, I would appreciate it. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I know that the public hearing is closed and we cannot accept any public comment, but yet I still can go, with your permission, to the planning director for clarification of the specific underlined areas in this petition for a F5, specifically 9. Mr. Alpern, if I may, I'm noticing that I read through 8 and the second paragraph too, at the last paragraph. And I'm noticing, as written, it says, products intended for retail sale as permitted in subsection 8 above, and farm machinery used for the operation of the farm may be temporarily stored. Going up to paragraph 8, which is in existence right now, it discusses the sale on abutting parcels, but since this has been deemed adjacent and not abutting, that takes care of that. My question here is, it says maybe temporarily stored. It does not say anything about the actual sale of that product. Now, I'm noticing on the Planning Commission recommendation, their reason for approval is this will not change any of the existing regulations that govern farming. It will allow an existing farm to use adjacent property to store products and machinery. They don't discuss the sale of it either. Now, my question to you would be, what is the actual intention of this? We did discuss during the public hearing that there may be a possibility of 8 or 10 or 12% of the consumer visiting the site to pick up goods. But does that actually say that in this? I don't see where it says that. It says may be temporarily stored on a lot zone. It says products intended for retail sale may be temporarily stored on a lot. It doesn't say products intended for retail sale may be temporarily stored and sold from that lot. So my question is, if the word at the end of where it says may be temporarily stored, inserted but not sold on a lot zoned RA40 or RA80, does that help some of the negative opinion while accomplishing an approval for the petitioner? I think maybe some of the concerns about the road and the traffic is the customer going back and forth across the street. So to allow the storage and to allow this, I don't want to call it expansion, because as you know, by our own regulation, we're not allowed to expand a non-conforming use. But this is a petition. So we can accomplish, I think, a scenario where the petitioner can see an approval for what they need for their business, yet this commission can then go a step further and protect the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens by not actually seeing a cash register on site ringing up jars of honey and mulch. So what is it exactly is the intention of this paragraph? Are sales intended from this?
I think that, as I would read it, it is certainly open to interpretation that it would not allow for people to go over there and actually pick up stuff. It's for storage. But secondly, I would not vote on this tonight. If you wish to make amendments of this nature, I was not aware of these amendments coming. Unless they are very simple, I would be careful about making something out the cuff. I have no idea where they would be inserted.
You asked that before, and I can answer that question if you'd like.
Well, I'm not asking a question. What I'm saying is that I think there should be some time to properly draft that for insertion. It doesn't need to change it. It needs simply to draft it. Which I think at which time we can address your concern.
Well, I'm only inserting 3 words. Temporarily stored is already there, but not sold.
Oh, well, he's the one who made the motion.
Well, maybe he likes mine better than his.
I would, and all I would like to specify there, and I do like what he said. My point was that no outdoor storage of said products and machinery in the last line, maybe closer than 40 feet from the line, and then I would say that no outdoor storage of products and machinery. or products and machinery in the last line, that's where I would correct what I said. However, if need be to rewrite it and make it clear and to address my concerns and Commissioner Haddad's concerns, and to still give ample opportunity to everybody else who wants to approve this, I think that we can mollify everybody by rewriting the amendment and then re-voting it after it's written.
Well, you're not rewriting it, you're making an amendment on the floor to the petition.
Correct.
Any more discussion? Commissioner Malillo.
Mr. Alpern, quick question. If we were to make an amendment on the floor to this petition, and along the lines that was suggested to this evening, would that qualify as a substantial change and have to reopen the public hearing, or would that go through without the public hearing?
That's something else I would like to check with.
In my opinion, I think it's merely clarifying what's written. That's why I made that.
That's fine.
It's a very broad amendment, and that's why we were trying to.
Yeah, and I don't have anything in front of me to refer to, and so I'm not going to make a ruling.
Mr. Chairman, let me just clarify my position. I'm in favor
Yes,
of the petition.
yes, Commissioner Haddad.
I'm in favor of the petition. I'm not suggesting that we do anything with Mr. Johnson, or I'm not speaking for anybody else here. I'm only raising my concerns that I just didn't want to see, a store exactly the same on one side of the street as on the other. And as you know, this petition survives the property owner, okay? And I know that the Halases, they're a good family, they have good intentions, and they run a very nice operation. But what happens if someday it's not Halas Farm anymore? That could be a store, unless we clarify the petition this evening. So that's all I'm speaking of. I think we can accomplish the goals that they wanted to do by expanding it to the storage of what they'd like to put over there, and everybody could be happy. That's all. I wasn't speaking for anyone else, and I wouldn't be in favor of Mr. Johnson's attaching that to the motion for us to do to vote on. I'm relatively in favor of the petition. I only have one concern. That's it.
Yes, Commissioner Jowdy.
I understand the concerns of Commissioner Johnston, but Halas came and the petition said to amend a section 4A5F of the zoning regs. The petition was put on the floor. It was a denial motion, and it didn't pass. And then we put a motion to approve, and it was approved to amend section 4A5F.
It was not approved.
We haven't voted
Okay.
on that
We
yet.
voted.
We have not voted on that motion. We're still in discussion on the approval of the motion.
Okay, right, okay. So now there's a motion to do that. If it's approved, then it's basically being approved or denied as the petition came to the floor. Okay, why not?
It's not necessitated that it's that way. We can amend the motion. That's what discussion is for. We can amend the motion to clarify it, to make it more palatable for the people of the city and for the people on this commission.
My concern
It's not a yes or no.
Right.
It doesn't have to be.
My concern is, can we amend it? And if we do, let's try to, like Commissioner Haddad said, try to understand the intent of the applicant and what he was going for. Maybe not give him everything, but I think it's a little strict in what you had recommended, Commissioner Johnston.
If I might ask through the chair, in what way? Which is too strict? Perhaps I can amend my...
They had originally said that their biggest concern was to store mulch over there. Now you're saying any products has to be inside a building. That's virtually, impossible unless you want to look at a big, huge building like you have on Sandpit that stores sand. I mean, so I don't think he wants to put a market and sell little pieces or like Commissioner Haddad said, jars of this or that, but he wants to have a truck go over there and get mulch.
All right, so were I to, for the sake of discussion, say that no customers were allowed on the property, as Mr. Haddad pointed out, and products would be stored in, what I'm trying to get away from, my thought, is to get away from enormous piles of, so if we had a height limit of some sort, a 10-foot height on the piles of mulch, so that we didn't have another visual obstruction or another visual entity. And as far as the equipment being stored on there, I thought that that would be something that should be stored in a permanent structure. But, but I could be dissuaded from my thought that the mulch need be stored in a permanent structure, were that stored in a manner that didn't, that it didn't become a 70-foot high, pile of wood debris or whatever it is. So I mean, I could, if say it was stored in piles of no more than 10 foot or something like that, I could live with that without the permanent structure, and I would change my amendment to read that way.
Chairman,
Mr. Chairman, when
Commissioner Malone.
I'm curious, and I would just like to know, perhaps to help expedite this along the ways, are we on an amendment to this motion? And if so, has that amendment been motioned and seconded, and therefore warranting discussion to vote on that amendment, or are we on discussion of the original motion?
I think we're still in the discussion of the original motion with concerns about what I've written down, basically no customers and height restrictions is what I'm hearing. I guess the permanent structure is gone by the wayside from what I'm listening to. Or the storage of everything
Of
in
materials
permanent
on the property. I would remove that from, if that's the inhibition to, I'll remove the all products must be stored.
Is that clarification you're looking for, Commissioner Malone?
Well, I was just wondering if we were going to be entertaining a motion to amend this motion or not, because if we're not going to be entertaining a motion to amend this motion, then we may not have to prolong the meeting to another meeting. And I was just looking for clarification. The discussion on this motion has kind of seemed, in my mind, gotten away from a large perspective from the original motion. I'm just a little unsure right now as to whether or not we're actually talking about amending this motion or we're talking about the original motion in itself. And I would like some clarification on what the discussion is right now.
I believe the original motion is being discussed. Commissioner Stremiello.
My original motion was to put this through, adding all of the proposed language as written.
As written, yes.
It was seconded as well, and then we went into discussion about.
This is all pertinent under discussion, isn't it?
So we haven't voted on anything.
Chairman, actually,
Commissioner Haddon.
but Mr. Johnston asked the motion maker if he would like to amend his motion. The motion maker can say no, and that clears Mr. Johnson right off the bat. If that's what's happening, I mean, I'm only telling you how it's being done. I mean, if that's what you want to do, tell him that you're not willing to attach that to your amendment. It's over with.
Well, if we...
Would you, Commissioner Stremiello, would you like to entertain any of these amendments to your motion?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask
Commissioner
Mr.
Haddon.
if he would like to amend his motion to, at the end of the word where it says may be temporarily stored, to amend his motion to simply say, but not sold. And he has the right to say yes or no. And then we'll go from there.
You can clarify where that is, please.
Products intended for retail sale as permitted in subsection 8 above and farm machinery used for the operation of the farm may be temporarily stored, insert, but not sold, on a lot zoned RE80 or RE40 or RE80. If you want to clarify that further, but not sold from that site. I mean, they're certainly allowed to sell what they store. Or why would they do it?
But not sold or transferred to a customer on the lot.
Well, I think what he wants to do is put piles of mulch, buy it and sell it. All I want to do is make sure that the guy's not pulling up with a truck or wheelbarrow, throwing it in his shed and leaving with it. Let him do it.
Well, let me get this argument about sold. You're against the actual transfer of the mulch onto a private vehicle on that adjacent lot,
I
correct?
guess I'm just concerned that the
That's
customer
what you
doesn't
gotta
know
say.
that.
That's what you have to say. All right?
I think Mr. Commissioner had it clarified what I was trying to say.
And what I'm suggesting is you don't do it tonight. All right? Because, if I may, writing regulations is tricky business. It's not something to do on the back of an envelope, and not something for you to consider without you all having the language in front of you.
I agree with that.
Well, then, Mr.
I mean,
Chairman.
I'll be glad to help as much as I can.
All right.
Just let me know what you want for your next meeting. Email me, call me, write me, whatever. And then you'll have something in front of you for the next meeting. Fair enough?
Commissioner Jowdy and then Commissioner Haddad.
I'd like to address a quick question to Planning Director, Mr. Alpern. Is there, and the public hearing is closed, is there a way that we could meet, or you could, someone from the board, meet with the applicant and try to hash this out and come up with the pros and cons of what this applicant might be able to do with this property? Are we beyond that?
So isn't that a little site specific?
I would recommend that. I mean, I'm not sure. but
Director.
I would recommend it.
Or would it, would not?
I would not recommend that.
Commissioner Haddad.
Then if I removed my concern and it went back in reverse and then asked Mr. Alpert again, is it the intention of this paragraph? Is it the intention of this paragraph to allow sales and customers on that adjacent lot? For the record.
I'm sorry.
For the record.
For the record, he's asking.
Paragraph that a customer.
Commissioner Haddad, it might help if you actually move the microphone towards you. He might be able to hear you better.
Then why don't we clarify what, if I was to remove the words "but not sold" and then go back and ask Mr. Alpern his intention of this paragraph is the definition of this paragraph to include a consumer going to that site, reaching in their pocket, handing over cash, and walking off with goods. Is it included that, or is it restricted from that?
I would interpret it as meaning that it's only for storage.
Okay.
However, I think that others could interpret it another way. And so when you're writing these regs, you want to, if that's what you want to make certain will not happen, you have to be very specific in that regard. And that requires some more language, and that's why I'm just reluctant to suggest that you just start making up language right now.
Mr. Alpern?
Commissioner Johnston and then Commissioner Malillo.
Yes, that's, I think that the clarification and what Mr. Haddad said, and I think that Mr. Alpern is trying to make a recommendation here that we clarify this from everybody's standpoint before we move ahead with it, because I think that's part of my intent with everything that I said under discussion, is that it's a little too broad, it's a little too sweeping, and I'm not saying that maybe I went too far one way. You know, Mr. Haddad's ideas may be fine. Perhaps we should clarify it. We don't need, once again, to rush to judgment on anything here. If we get things clarified and get them the right way in front of us, we're all making an informed decision.
Mr. Malillo.
Mr. Alpern, just another quick question, and I'm just curious if possibly the same intention that Commissioner Haddad is looking for, if instead of adding language to it, if we just removed the intended for retail sale from it, so it just says products as permitted in subsection 8 above in farm machinery, would that help to clarify that it was a storage for storage intent and not a sales intent by not alluding to sales in this paragraph?
I don't think so. Because when you refer to 8 above, it talks about retail sales of products.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Haddad.
Mr. Chairman, whichever way this motion goes, I also think we should consider, if it doesn't get approved tonight, that we schedule a special meeting, because these people's season is going by them. And I'm not talking about showing anybody any favoritism, I'm talking about moving the city's process along. So, you know, I noticed that we had a meeting cancellation, or we don't have any business at the next meeting. So, you know, I wouldn't want this thing to linger either. Now, with that said, I believe that while there's a motion and while there's a petition, I believe that this commission, and you have to make this decision, that you have the right to accept this if you want to, because we're restricting the petition. And we have been allowed since October of 2001 in Connecticut's state case law to do that. So if we choose to further restrict this without having a public hearing, we can. If we loosen it up without a public hearing, we cannot do that. So I see the words "but not sold" or something along that line as a way to approve, to accept, if the gentleman would like to accept that as part of his motion, we could take action on that this evening. The chairman can make that decision. And I understand what Mr. Alper is saying as well. We're not really, this isn't really rocket science. It's just, we want to insert a concept that further restricts the petition, which we are allowed to do on the floor.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Johnston.
And I would agree with Commissioner Haddad if Commissioner Stramiello is so inclined, and I will withdraw what I had and go with that restriction and tighten it up to that extent and hope that this works out in the best interest of the public in the long run.
Commissioner Manasek.
Yes,
I would agree with both as well, both Mr. Haddad and what Mr. Johnson just said. If Mr. Stramiello would be willing to make that change in his motion.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Basically what we're saying here is we don't want to see a cash register across the street. Is that right?
Retail sale from the property.
I'm fine with that. We can change that to read, but not sold there. That's fine.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, as a seconder to the motion, I actually do believe that the way this is worded does clarify that it's storage only and not a retail sale. So I will not continue to second the motion with that. I do not approve. I do not, with my second, allow that change.
I'd like to re-second the motion. Can we do that?
Let's
Does it have to be re-proposed in total?
Let's slow down a second, okay? Yes.
Rush to judgment here. You all have the amendment in front of you?
Yes.
Show of hands.
Yes, how many of you have amendments in front of you? All voting members?
First sentence, products intended for retail sale as permitted in subsection A above, and farm machinery used for the operation of a farm may be temporarily stored, comma, but not sold or picked up by customers, comma, on a lot zone. It makes absolutely no sense with machinery, but this is quick. Okay. Understand?
Can you repeat that, please? But
May be temporarily stored, comma, but not sold or picked up by customers, comma, on a lot zoned RA40, which lies adjacent to.
I'd like to just take a straw poll on having a 5-minute, or actually more like a 10-minute recess to go over some of this language and then reconvene.
No,
anyone? Okay.
Can we? So you're
Commissioner Haddad, you have an opinion. I'd like to hear it, please.
Yeah, if you're going to take a recess to digest the language and sit in the chairs, that's fine. If anybody's going to get up off of this, it doesn't look right to the public. Okay? So that's why it shouldn't be done.
Well,
That's why I asked for a straw poll.
Okay. Basically, what Mr. Alpern was suggesting now, it's just a clarification of the language to make it flow and make it make sense. So I think all that is just a syntextual clarification of Commissioner Haddad's motion.
All right, without having to take a recess, I think we can do this. We'll go over the language, see if everyone agrees with the language and if you're willing to accept it. Commissioner Melillo?
Mr. Alpern, just you were advised us earlier if we were going to make changes to this motion to not vote on it tonight. With this recommended change, would you be comfortable with us voting this motion tonight, or would you still recommend either scheduling another meeting or waiting?
No, I would suggest you schedule another meeting. I had a suspicion, though, that you were moving to vote on this, and that's why I suggested.
I myself agree with Commissioner Haddad regarding the season and the timelihood of this motion. I don't necessarily see the reason to prolong the petition. Like I said originally, I myself am comfortable with the verbiage of this motion. And just for the record, I actually did not withdraw my second of the motion. I just did not agree to the change on it. So should it be changed, that amendment would need to be either approved by me as a seconder or be made as a motion to change, to amend.
Shall we proceed with reviewing the words we'd like to try to insert?
I'm just suggesting this.
Okay, can we review those, please? Yes, please.
First sentence, so paragraph 9. Products intended for retail sale as permitted in subsection 8 above, and farm machinery used for the operation of the farm may be temporarily stored, comma, but not sold or picked up by customers, comma, on lots owned RA 40 or RA 80, which lies adjacent to, but separated from the lot containing the farm and or retail sales operation by a public right-of-way, comma, provided the lot is under the same ownership as the owner of the existing farm and or retail sales operation and is no less than 40,000 square feet in acre area. See?
May I ask a
Mr.
question?
Johnson.
So, if we want to adopt said language, we have to make another motion
No.
to adopt the language? No?
No, you still have the motion on the floor.
Mike?
No, what you need to do is make a friendly amendment and see if he'll accept it.
If the seconder doesn't accept it, where do we, well, I'm confused as to what happens at that point. He accepts it, he does not, what do we do then?
Let's cross the bridge when we get there.
Well, his second, and then you can accept it.
Gotcha, thank you. Okay.
Is everyone clear on the language that's being inserted? Does anyone have any questions? I just want to make sure that everyone's clear on the language. You have a question, Mr. Jowdy? Commissioner Jowdy?
I understand the language, but I don't agree on it. I don't agree with the way that it was stated because we're going back and forth. I mean,
Basically, the language is ensuring that no customers are to be on the property.
and we had the discussion before that maybe customers could go over, or maybe large items that could be picked up. We had talked about that, and then one of the commission members said no cash register on that side. So we're all over the place on this.
Just one line to clarify, that's all.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Melillo?
Mr. Chairman, for the record, I do not intend to withdraw my motion. I seconded a motion which I firmly intend to support and I think is fine. So for the record, with me not withdrawing the motion, I would recommend either a motion is made to amend the motion which I seconded, or we would proceed on the motion in its entirety.
We have Mr. Johnston.
I would like to make an amendment to amend the motion to include the language, but not sold for or picked up by customers as put forth by Mr. Alpern, and to add to section 9.
We have a second.
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Manasek. Okay, any discussion? Okay, so we've amended the motion. I believe we have to go to the original motioner and see if he accepts. We're voting to amend the motion so without. Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chairman.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine with this new language.
Okay, let's go ahead. We'll vote on whether to accept the additional language to amend the motion that was.
He said yes. He said he was fine with it.
He's fine with it, but we still.
With your amendment.
We still need to vote on the amendment to amend the Commissioner Stramiello's motion. Commissioner Jowdy, would you like to clarify anything?
Yeah, no, I don't want to clarify. The original motion on the floor was denied.
No.
Your motion was denied.
Commissioner Johnson's was denied. Commissioner Stramiello's is currently on the floor.
Okay, so we didn't make a motion to accept it. We're making a motion to accept it with these amendments.
We are currently voting on accepting the amendment to Commissioner Stramiello's motion.
How about the motion to approve the petition?
We haven't gotten there
That
yet.
would come after the amendment.
We are approving. We are either approving or not approving the added language. Is everyone clear on that? Okay. Who made the motion? And who seconded? Okay. Commissioner Johnston.
Yes.
Commissioner Manasek.
Yes.
Commissioner Haddad.
Yes.
Commissioner Jowdy.
No.
Commissioner Malillo.
No.
Commissioner Stramiello.
Yes.
Commissioner Wetmore.
Yes.
Commissioner Hickey.
No.
And I will vote yes. Okay, that passes 6-3. Okay, so we have an amendment to the original motion. Do you have any more discussion on Commissioner Stramiello's motion? As amended. Thank you.
Just one more point of clarification. Mr. Elpern, with this amendment, now it is your recommendation, I believe, that we do not act on this motion this evening? Based on the verbiage change?
Any other discussion? Commissioner Johnston?
Just a point of clarity. With the new language, does Mr. Stramiello make a new motion? So as we stand, he amended his motion, so we move forward with a vote on that, provided there's no further discussion. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Are we prepared to vote? Okay. Commissioner Stramiello?
Yes.
Who is this? Commissioner Malillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Haddad?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnston?
Yes.
Commissioner Jowdy?
Yes.
Commissioner Manasek?
Yes.
Commissioner Wetmore?
Yes.
Commissioner Hickey?
Yes.
And I too will vote yes. Okay, that passes unanimously, 9-0. Okay, on item number 2, ZBA Subcommittee, ZBA application for use variance, number 0820, His Vineyard, DBA His Vineyard Christian Fellowship, 22 Shelter Rock Road, lot number L15006.